Hello everyone, welcome to a very different pace of video. A long time ago I did something like this where it was called What's on My PS3. I think I did one for Vita as well. But basically like showing you what's saved on my system and how I use my PS3 throughout the day and all that. And I never did that for PS4 because I felt, well, PS3 had local file management for like videos, photos, music. So I felt like PS4 didn't make much sense because then it's really more of like a what's my PS4 collection because it's just a bunch of installed games. And I thought, well, not really, because I still use the system kind of in a day-to-day manner, like I'm sure a lot of you probably do. So here's what's on my PS4. So I'm just going to walk you through, obviously, the installed games, but also how I do end up using my PS4 every day, because like I said, I think that's where a lot of us fall, like right when we get home from school or like when you get home from work. It's really one of the first things you do if you don't like have cable television, which I don't, or at least I didn't used to in the traditional sense. The first thing I fire up it was my PS3, now it's my PS4, usually just for streaming services, but we'll obviously go through some of my games as well, and I'll just talk, just a little bit of a sharing thing, really. See, I finally have Death Stranding installed. I actually got it a long time ago now, but I just haven't had the time to play it, much like you all have noticed on the 30 Platinums video where I explained I just work a lot now, don't have much time. You see my PS4 in the background every day, so you know I never really have a big rotating list of games. Admittedly, whenever I do have the time to play games, I've been playing a lot of Switch lately, so that's just, it is what it is. At least right now I'm going through Sword and Shield. Well, when a mainline Pokemon game comes out, I play that for quite a significant amount of time. So that's why right now in the current horizontal list, these are all the games from the 30 Platinums in 30 Days video. They're all still right here, except what always is at the forefront here is what you often see, Sims 4. That's actually, you can see that's even locked. That's my girlfriend's game, so she loves going in and out of that. So that's why that's always like at the front of the page, really. And Watam just came out not that long ago, which I'm a big fan of the Katamari franchise. That's the same creator here that made Watam. Haven't really actually been able to really dive into that, and I was excited for Untitled Goose Game because it had a platinum, so that's something I chose not to play on Switch. But also, quick shout out, but we do have a Let's Talk PlayStation community, which I know not many people are aware of because not like I really call it out, but here it is. I try to update the header often, but yeah, that's from October, so sorry about that. But it's a nice little community. We got some good conversations going on in here, a lot of trophy discussion and all that, so if you're ever looking out for that, Let's Talk PlayStation. And then I guess we'll go all the way to library, and we'll check out some of the stuff here that we got. So all 66 games, 19 applications. So when it comes to applications, at least, because of the streaming stuff, like I mentioned earlier, don't have cable, but I actually just got Sling recently, which Sling is one of those TV internet services where you're getting cable television, but it's streamed online, and there's no Sling app. So I've actually been using that much more often. Instead of having to turn on my PS4, I just turn on my little Roku now. But I use Hulu and Netflix somewhat irregularly. Disney Plus just came out, and I'm not a Disney guy. That's another login for the girlfriend. She's got access to that, so she can watch her content. Otherwise, the PDP Cloud remote app, I don't ever have to access this, but I did a review of that remote, and I still use it to this day, but it really is getting annoying now. It has this like, every so often there's like this 1 second like lag delay, like input delay with the remote, and sometimes it like inputs a double press even though you've only pressed it once, and that gets really annoying. So long term, I'm actually not liking that remote. But let's go to the games. And with PS4, the other thing I start to notice is that because a lot of us will have either a 500 gig hard drive, or maybe we've upgraded it to 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes. I've got a 1 terabyte SSHD in my PS4, which is a slight combination of solid state and a traditional spinning disk. You get a very slight performance improvement, but really not much. But it was cheap and it wasn't that expensive, let's just put it that way. But there's a lot of uninstall and reinstalling games back and forth. And so actually it might make more sense to look at this from the system storage management. So at the bottom of this list is pretty much what I'll always keep installed, because these are games that I intend to jump into, or it's just such low storage requirements that I don't mind keeping them on there. Because like the big install games, like you have to at some point start deleting them when you're jumping in and out of the bigger games, right? When you're looking at 40, 50 gigabyte installs. But stuff like Sound Shapes, the SingStar Viewer, Final Fantasy 7, I'll always keep those on there. GTA 3, love Grand Theft Auto 3, gig and a half, I'll keep that on there just to jump into it without having to go through the hassle of re-downloading from the store. Got my PT on here, always leave it on there. PT, I have the license, so if I needed to do the workaround to pull it from the store again, I can do that. If you don't know, there is a workaround where if you have PT licensed on your account, you can pull it back from the store again. It's kind of a pain to do, but you can do that. If you've never downloaded PT on your account, you can't get it. But I have it installed on this PS4, my launch PS4, and then another spare PS4 that I also have. Keep talking and nobody explodes. I actually have My Name is Mayo, but I've never done it or done the platinum. It was like, it's $1, so I bought it. And I thought, man, I don't want that on my list. Legacy of the Duelist, I'll always keep that on there. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like, I even tweeted this the other day. I'm like, dude, sometimes I just like, I get super nostalgic, and I'm like into the classic Yu-Gi-Oh! I can't, anything beyond like synchro summoning, it's above, way over my head, and so I can't really get into it. I don't know why HBO Go's on here. I don't have that. Job Simulator is one of like the best VR games still. I keep this installed because anytime I have somebody come over that has not played a virtual reality game, that's like one of the first games for them to play. It's recognizable too. Like there's tons of YouTube videos of people playing Job Simulator, and it's got millions of views, and it's so funny. It's a well-known, easy to digest VR game that doesn't make people ridiculously sick. Destroy All Human 2, I haven't played that. I Expect You to Die, I haven't played that yet. VR Ping Pong, I'm surprised that's still installed on here, although that is really fun. Summer Lesson I want to play. Luminous I definitely keep installed at all times. I'm a huge Luminous fan. It's one of the few games I'm good at. Same with, there's God of War, Persona, right here, Super Stardust Ultra. I'll always keep this installed as well. This is one of my favorite, well, I guess it pretty much is my favorite twin-stick shooter. And it's one of the very few games I'm really, really good at. I know people look at my trophy count and details, and they go, oh man, look at all these things. Yeah, nah, I'm not good at games. But Super Stardust I am. Actually, let me start that actually, and let me show. I think I should still have a pretty high score when that came out. Because on the PlayStation 3 version is where my highest score is, Super Stardust HD. And I ranked like in the few top 100 of that, which is ridiculously good for me when it comes to an arcadey type game, right? And then when the PS4 version came out, I set a score that wasn't even nearly as good as the PS3 version, and I was in the top, double digits, basically. I would imagine that's gotten knocked down now, but I'll always jump into Super Stardust. I am number 216, so my score held up pretty good, actually. When I set it, yeah, I was like further up. And my PS3 score is around here, 350 million. So that's where I would be if my PS3 score was counted on here. Another thing people don't realize is that with PlayStation Now, see here, Heavenly Sword, Ape Escape, Bioshock, like MotorStorm Apocalypse, games that clearly aren't on PlayStation 4 natively. I know some people have seen this in my videos and go, wow, how are those on there? That's so weird. Those are PS3 games. How'd you do that? Well, since so many people will never even try PS Now, this is what the interface will look like when you start playing some games on your account. They add it actually as their own icons on your dynamic menu here. Look at Resistance 3. And so when you're playing something, I mean, and you quit out of it, they'll put a quick link right on your dynamic menu. So you don't even have to start PlayStation Now. You can just hit the icon from there. And I do have Dreams installed. Dreams is, I like it a lot, but I just can't create in Dreams like I could in Little Big Planet, which sucks. I was a pretty good builder in Little Big Planet. I could make some reasonable things without getting really complex, but I could do different mechanics and shapes that a lot of regular entry users couldn't do. Dreams, way above what I it's just too complicated. You know what's with Dreams? It's like you can make full game assets. You can sculpt with PlayStation Move and just actually create full on assets that can be added and changed and altered, and like Little Big Planet, I guess technically had that, but dude, it's nothing like what Dreams is doing, man. It's just so nuts. So at this point, Dreams really is me being just a player at that point. It's just too hard for me. And San Andreas, I keep installed at all times. It's my favorite Grand Theft Auto. I think it nails it on every front. In the PS2 era, I know a lot of people like Vice City more, but you know, with San Andreas, I love the West Coast, and also I love with this game, like some people don't care about like the single player of GTAs, especially the PS2 ones. San Andreas has an excellent single player campaign. If you really pay attention to it, pick up on the writing. I think it has great writing. It's realistic. It's grounded. It really goes over that whole era of the corruption in Los Angeles back then with the police force. It's like the one, like nobody talks about that with San Andreas. I'll vouch for that. That's it's fun to go through again. And then the typical regular scope of the game. I gotta get back to Subnautica. And City Skylines I like as well. I'll keep this always installed. There's a lot of DLC I gotta get to for this game. I love City Builders, and it was always, you know, City Builders is always like a PC thing. That's always where I had to play them. So it was great that there's finally one on PlayStation 4, and it's really in-depth. There's a lot to do, and there's trophies, which I still don't have a platinum for. Minecraft I'll always keep installed, although I haven't played it in so long. And then here we go, we're back to all this stuff. So there's a lot of games that are on right on my shelf. I'm looking at them now that I haven't gotten to. There's Vice City. I'll keep that on there as well. Yeah, I know. It really is the last, I'd say 3-4 years of my life where just a lot of work. It just wasn't like it was before, where I could earn all these trophies and all these platinums and play a lot of games. But there's also this thing where if I'm gonna play something more casually and I know I'm not gonna get a platinum, and it's weird, but I'll play it on a different account. That way I have no commitment to get the full platinum. So if, you know, you might be looking, oh man, you haven't played this or that. I might have, and I just probably did it on another account. But I curate my main list a little too much, I think. For those wondering, we'll also pop into here real quick the trophies. There's the trophy rank right there. If you want my PSN ID, it's right there. Can't add you. Gonna tell you right now, it's always been full. I don't manage the list or anything like that. I can't thumb through 2,000 people and get rid of inactive users, right? That's just ridiculous. But here's the trophies. Again, they haven't been touched since the Platinum video. But I'm going to run through these. I'm not going to go over them. That's for another video. We've done plenty of trophy videos. I might do a trophy update video. That'll be a more in-depth conversation on just the trophies in particular, like the whole list. But excuse me if that's coming in the audio there. Some slight burping. This is more of a candid conversation. Just you and me. Nobody else. Unless there is somebody else. You're listening to this out loud. It's weird. Pixel Junk Eden. What a great game. Probably the least popular of the Pixel Junk games, but fantastic. That's it. That is everything. So like I said, currently playing Sword and Shield, and will be starting Death Stranding hopefully soon. Also want to start Wadham, which I don't think is a huge commitment, so that's kind of like my 3-game docket right now in terms of what I'm playing. These are my habits with PS4 at least. I always like to keep Luminous, Super Stardust, City Skylines, Yu-Gi-Oh! On there. Those are great games to just jump in and out of with no real major commitment. I think that's why we all really enjoy Switch nowadays. There's so much buzz for the Switch because it is that very easy jump in and out of platform. I don't even keep my Switch connected to the TV, by the way. I don't dock it. I just keep it handheld all the time because I like that accessibility of it. That's what makes it more convenient for me. That's really like a weird habit for me. Something like Death Stranding, it's such a big game and it takes so much, and there's so much cinematics, and that's a game, same with like God of War, where I want to know that I have a full 8 hours or so where I can play it and be completely uninterrupted. It's weird, but that's kind of like where I find myself nowadays. I can't like play 30 minutes to an hour of something like Death Stranding. It just doesn't seem right to me. That's it, though. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know about your PS4 habits. I'm sure you all have a lot of games that you'd like to go in and out of as well. Actually, give me some game recommendations. Kind of in the same veins of Luminous or Yu-Gi-Oh! Or whatever. Like something that's a bit more easy to jump in and out of. I'm always looking for those on PSN, especially nowadays, because that's just the habit I find myself in. Other than that, if you haven't yet, please subscribe for the best PlayStation news, reviews, and updates that are here on YouTube. You can follow on Twitter at Mystic Ryan, and that's it. I will see you all in my next video. You take it easy.